Hey everyone, DarkDragoon here with Season 2, Episode 4 of my FTB Modpack Let's Play. So, when last we left off, last episode, we were working on getting ourselves some of these energy cells, basically a redstone buildcraft power storage system. And so we've been sort of slowly working our way up toward making our redstone energy cell. But we ran out of Electrum, obviously, last episode, so we couldn't quite finish it up before the end. You can see, though, I did a little bit of mining between then and now, so I definitely got ourselves enough Electrum to finish our project. I'm also going to pull this lead out, because you might notice that, well, I've got kind of a couple goals for this episode, one of which is to finish up this and then show you why I have all these stone bricks, and we'll go from there. So, I also have, obviously you can see I also have some obsidian grinding up here in our pulverizer because I want to make some more of this hardened glass. So, we're just going to put a couple of those in there because I'm not sure exactly how much I'm going to need for the whole system, but let's go ahead and finish making our redstone energy cell. Pretty simple. We're gonna need, there we go, we're gonna need some redstone. Let's see what else. I think we have everything else here. We've got our electrum, we got our lead, we got redstone, we should be good. So, we're gonna take our energy cell, we're gonna put it in our crafting table like so. Actually, first things first, we need to make one of these coils, a conductance coil. You can see it's made just like the other coils in thermal expansion. Except it has electrum in the middle instead of gold. So, pretty simple. There we go. And now we can finish this. Now, you can see I made myself a lot more electrum than I needed. There's a reason for that. But for now, you can definitely see, boom, redstone energy cell. Now, finally, we've got a block we can slap down. And basically, you can see it's got an input and an output. And what this block will do is when it's connected to one of these golden pipes, these golden conductive pipes, it will store up Buildcraft energy inside its internal buffer, which you can see holds 600,000 MJ. Minecraft joules, I believe, is what they're technically called, but I usually just call them megajoules, which I know is wrong, but what have you. Anyway, so yeah, you can see you can slap this thing down, and it'll store energy for us. Now, interestingly enough, obviously I didn't use my wrench. So I'm going to grab my wrench and see if this works. I do have a wrench. At least I thought I did. Maybe not. Let's make ourselves a wrench real quick just so I can show you guys. Not too difficult to make. Get back in there. We're also going to need some cobblestone. Where'd you go? I always do that. I always miss one side of it. So we're going to need a little iron for this. 3 to be exact. So we're going to put our gear in the middle. Boom, boom, boom. Wrench. Okay. So, yeah, like I said, you can see we can throw down our little redstone energy cell. And it's really hard to pick up like that, but if we shift right click with a wrench, it should work? Maybe not. I know that there's a thermal expansion has its own wrench, and right now it might be that the Buildcraft wrench is maybe not working. I don't know. I'll figure out. I'll look into it and figure out what's going on with that. But anyway, so the whole point of this is so that we can store up some of our Buildcraft power so that this doesn't happen. And to be able to move into some logic gates coming up pretty soon, which I kind of want to do quickly. I like to get into those pretty fast in the game because they're very useful, and I'll show them to you when we get to them. But in the meantime, to make really good use of this energy cell, we're going to need to make ourselves some of these energy conduits, and we're going to have to use our liquid transposer to fill them with redstone, liquid redstone, just like we did with our block. So to make these, it's pretty simple. You can see we definitely need some more electrum ingots, and we're going to need more hardened glass, which we got started going here. So we got ourselves a little bit of hardened glass. I'm going to make one more of those, I think, because I think that's exactly how much electrum we've got. Oh, actually we didn't really need to, because I had two sitting here. Oh well. Always room for more hardened glass, I say. So these are pretty simple to make. They're made just like tubes, except with electrum on the outsides and some hardened glass in the middle. Will give us energy conduits. Cool. So now we can slap these into our liquid transposer here. You can see they will rapidly fill up, obviously eating up some of our buildcraft power, which we shut off a minute ago, but I've been lucky managing, because I've been sort of turning these on, letting some stuff process. You can definitely see got through a lot of ore between last episode and this one. But I've been lucky in getting back to these when they're almost full but not ready to blow up. So this will definitely help make sure that that doesn't happen at all, particularly once we get some buildcraft logic gates going. So now we've got our energy cell, we've got our energy conduits. Let's go ahead. We're going to have to dig down into our floorboards here, just so that you guys can see. I'm actually going to dig down one more layer so I can sort of see what's going on from below a little bit. You'll understand pretty quickly why I need to do that. So, okay, everything's off there. That's a huge mess. Come on, let me swim. Alright. So now we'll be able to fix this whole mess and it won't look so ugly and it'll look pretty good. So what we're going to do is we're going to slap our energy cell there. You can see right now there's nothing going in, nothing going out. But if I jump up here and flip our switches and get our engines going again, you can see, okay, they're running. And they are slowly going to be building up power. Obviously, since I turned them off, the power is going to flow in sort of in little spurts. But you can see it definitely starts to charge up. And it holds quite a bit of energy. So we can basically just let these go and no big deal. So now that's sort of slowly building up a charge, I'm going to knock all these off the walls here, and we're going to run our energy conduits like so. Now you can see that when it attaches to a machine that either it can draw power from or draw power to, you'll see it'll get almost like this little plug looking thing with what looks like an arrow, and it'll be blue or orange depending on the situation. But right now, blue, you can kind of see the arrows pointing up. So right now it looks like the energy is pouring from this, which is nothing, into the bottom of our energy cell. That's not what we want. What we want is for energy to be pouring out. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our wrench and we're just going to give it a right-click whack. And you can see it changes to a down arrow with orange. So blue will always indicate power is going in, orange will indicate power going out. Or you can take a look at the arrow. So now we have power coming into the block from our conduits and flowing out of the block through these energy conduit things. So now we can just simply run these down here like so to each of these machines, and you can see they've already oriented themselves properly. I think, let's try shift right clicking. No, still bugged. Okay, they take quite a bit to actually break just manually. There we go. But you can definitely see these are really nice because they're not really going to overflow with power. They can handle all of the power that we want to pour out of this block, which we can adjust up to 100 per tick. And they're not going to blow up and everything's going to be safe. So right now, the only problem we have is that it's possible when all of these machines are full and when this block is full, that we might get power overloading in here, but we're going to fix that a little bit down the line, probably sooner rather than later, with some more buildcraft fun that will make this whole system really, really cool and actually be able to sort of move us toward the next step of really what I want to do pretty quickly, I think. So that all done, everything looks good. Everything's getting power, so I'm going to go ahead and seal this all up. The other nice thing is because of where we put our block, we'll actually be able to access it fairly easily and take a look at how much power is in there and how close we are to needing to shut off our engines. You can see, because like I said, because it's right here in the floor, we can just click it and no big deal. So I'm going to actually replace this. There we go. And we're still good. So our system is looking pretty nice. Now, the other thing I wanted to do, now I had mentioned the idea of the whole point that I built this alloy furnace so soon was so that I could not have to, flip all these engines on with individual little levers. So I'm going to fix that right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to find some iron. Try and decide exactly how much we want to make. I think that should probably be good. And we're going to throw those into our alloy furnace, and those are going to give us... Now you can see, I've already shown you how to make these alloy wiring, but I don't really want to use just alloy wiring here. And to do that, I'm going to need to make myself... Actually, doesn't need to be diamonds, and I'm kind of low, so why don't we do it this way. Grab a little bit more iron. And we're going to need, I'm not sure if we had some sticks lying around. We do. We're going to need 3 of those. Alright, so we're going to make ourselves a little item from red power called a handsaw. Now, this is a sapphire handsaw. It can be made with, you can have an iron handsaw, which I think just will let you cut up wood. You can make the gem handsaws. You can also make diamond handsaws, which you're going to need for another item down the line, but we're not quite there yet, so I figured just go ahead and make a gem handsaw and deal with the diamond later. So now we've got ourselves our handsaw here. What we can do is we can take some of our stone. You can do this with quite a few different blocks, but I'm going to use stone first. And when you chop them up once, just like this, you're going to get stone slabs, which is about half a block. You can chop those up in half into panels, which is going to be about a quarter of a block. And then you can chop those up one last time into stone covers, which kind of close to, I'd say, maybe an eighth of a block. Now the point to these is you can see when you try to put them down, you're going to get this little ghost image showing you where you're placing it. And what you can do is you can see, okay, if I put it down there, you can see it's not a full block. You can still go inside it. But the neat thing about these is you can use them to cover up all your red power wiring and other fun stuff, basically to make things look nice. And you can put more than one in a block. You can put 2 there, I could put another one up here, and it would appear to be a block even though realistically it's hollow, as you can see. But that's not the main reason why I wanted to make those. Obviously that's a useful bit for them, but what I really want to do is take some of these, like so, and make some stone jacketed wiring. Now these work just like the wiring I already showed you, but they work a little bit differently and they're kind of cool. And we're going to use those to set up our system here. Now, I think what we're going to do is we're going to end up having our switch right here. So for now I'm going to have to break this block away. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dig back here. I'm going to have to dig a little more than I thought. I'm going to go, probably I'm thinking right behind our machines. Yeah, that'll work. Pick up some of our stuff here. And then I'm going to take our jacketed wiring and I'm just going to line them up like so. And you can see they seem to basically occupy a block, but unlike the wiring, which is just going to run along a wall or something, this is a really good way to connect power to a machine like this. It's just really convenient, basically. Now we're going to have a little bit of problem here getting out of our hole we dug, so I'm just going to have to dig this way. And there's a reason for this, and you'll see it pretty soon, why I have to do it this way. So Now the cool thing is you can see, even though the outer edges of these are wrapped in stone, these do connect to our machines here. So when we're going to put our block right, I'm going to have to dig a little more. There we go, just so we can get out. I'll clean this all up here in a minute, but so you can see it doesn't connect to the block. And if I were to put one of our levers here, let's go ahead and just take them off the wall since they're going to be moved anyway. If I were to put a lever here, you can see nothing's going to happen. And you can see this isn't even on. And so power is not flowing to our engines. But if I go in here, grab our red alloy wiring, and I stick the alloy wiring basically between the block and this, it'll form a connection. And now that the lever's already pulled, you can see power begins to transfer between this block and this jacketed wiring, and our engines turn on. Pretty cool, huh? I like it. Very useful little item. So now that that's done, we can basically just cover ourselves back up here and make it look nice again. And we can even I don't like the way that looks. Actually, the other thing you can do, is I just throw my handsaw around. We're going to just take a bit of our cobblestone and we're going to chop that up into some covers as well. Mostly I'm choosing cobblestone so that it looks good and it sort of fits our motif here. Don't know if I can get back there. Let me dig back here again. Wasn't quite ready. Now right now you can see this engine is actually being hit by this wire twice. And that's okay, it's not really a big deal, but what we can do is we can take our covers here, maybe, I had it a second ago, and we can put it there, and that will actually block the connection between the wire there to the side of the machine. Like I said, not a big deal, but more importantly, I wanted to put it there so that you can't even tell when you look in at through these machines that there's anything going on. And that's what I wanted. So, that done, like I said, we'll cover this all back up, and pretty much we're set. There's this all. The only other thing really to do is try to make this look nice. I don't know if I'm going to be able to from this angle. Might just have to do this. Yeah, just gonna have to do this. There we go. And make sure to put this back. Boom. So our engine can keep running. Cool. So, yeah, I think we're pretty much golden. Now, I would like to cover this up, but obviously since I still need to access these steam engines, I'm not really going to be able to because I need to be able to pump coal into these manually. But you can easily see how this system could easily be upgraded with some automatic system to bring coal into the steam engines. So that is cool, and you can see our energy cells still charging up. So now all done, we can now pretty much just, we can leave this running and it'll go for a really long time. We won't have to worry about it blowing up on us. And B, we have a single switch to power the entire system. Now eventually the switch will be obsolete once we get some logic gates, and you'll see that pretty soon, I think. So that done, I'm actually not sure how close we are to night. Looks to be pretty good. Actually, it looks like the sun might be going down. Cannot tell. Yeah, it looks like it's going down. So why don't we go ahead and sleep through the night. And when I come back, I'll show you guys what I gotta admit, I've been working a little bit off screen. I got a little bit of a, well, it's not really a surprise, but you'll see it here in a second, so I'll be back. Alright, I am back, and you guys can see it's pretty well into the middle of the day, and obviously I've laid out some kind of structure that I'm going to build here. Basically what I decided was, I didn't really start immediately near any kind of cool looking caves. I mean, I could have probably explored out into those hills a little bit and done something out there, but I decided to go ahead, at least to start with, to go out here into this nice flatlands area, and basically I'm going to build myself another sort of factory type design, but it's going to be a little more modern looking than last season, particularly because I'm going to use some Zycraft blocks. And I think it'll look really cool. Obviously this is not something I'm going to be doing on camera. This is a pretty big building project, just as you guys can see, just from the sheer size of this area that I laid out. And it might actually be a little bit bigger. I'm not sure if I'm happy with, because I definitely want to do sort of like pillars in this room. There's probably going to be extensions off of this as we move forward, but I'm not actually sure if I like the amount of space I gave myself here. I don't know. It's something I'm going to have to, like I said, I'm going to have to do off camera and do a lot of thinking about, but I definitely want to show you guys that we are moving forward, even though I want to, for the time being, still live in the cave. There is a future, and it is not in the cave. It is out here in the wilds. Hopefully we'll make it less wild. So yeah, so that was the thing I was working on. Obviously, like I said, you can see I'm not too far into it, and it's going to take a little bit of work because we're going to use some blocks from Zycraft, which I'm actually going to show you a little bit of right now. Right now, I'm not actually sure. Zycraft is a mod that's pretty new, and it's definitely not done yet. There's a lot of stuff that's a part of Zycraft that's not actually in the pack yet, as it's not finished yet, but it's a cool mod, and right now it's pretty much just got all its world gen in, so you can see these are where I got these crystals from. And right now there's not a whole lot of use for those crystals except for making blocks, and there's a couple different blocks you can make. Now I'm going to tidy up my inventory here a little bit. Yeah, because it's pretty messy. So, right now everything's just sort of a mess, and I'm definitely going to upgrade a lot of these to iron chests pretty soon, particularly since we have a good supply of iron. Let's see here. Okay, so one thing we can do, put this here. One thing we can do is we can take these Zycorium crystals and just put them in a powered furnace, or any kind of furnace for that matter, and they'll start cooking up into these Zycordite bricks. And you can do this with each of the different colors, and you're going to get obviously a different color Zycordite brick. I'm just going to let that go for now. I think actually 4 might be enough to show you what I can do with these. So this is why I had, when the episode started, this is why I had this in my this pulled up. Now with this texture pack, strangely enough, it does sort of flip at least the way that some of these bricks look. So if you're just using your normal texture pack, these Zycordite bricks actually look more like my Zycordite plates. So they're going to look more brick-like, more like stone bricks or something like that, but strangely colored. And these Zycordite plates are going to look more like this. I'm not sure why that is. I suspect it's probably a mistake in the design of the texture pack, because it makes a little more sense for the bricks to look like bricks and the plates to look sort of like these fancy little blocks. But you can see that we're going to actually make a bunch of these different types of blocks. There's even a third kind. I think they're called the shields, which take Zycordite plates, which are these here. Obviously some stone bricks, a brick, and some Zycordite. And the shields take 4 of those and a bunch of iron, so we're probably not going to make any of those. I'm assuming that these are actually going to have a purpose later on in some actual Zycraft like machines and the like, but for now they're just sort of fancy. And there's also these Zycordite platforms, which is glass and Zycordite and some iron. So I think what we're going to make, mostly to start off, we're going to make these green, or not necessarily green, but these Zycorium blocks, which is very simple, uncooked crystals, these bricks, and the plates. It's pretty much probably what we're going to make a fair amount of to start with. And so just to show you guys real quick how these come together, I cannot recall if I actually have any bricks lying around. I do. You can see we got a couple different options. There's these. This is the recipe for the bricks. Obviously, again, like I said, flip these. If you're just using the normal texture pack, flip the appearance of these. But there's the brick for me, plate for you, if you're using the normal. And then normal textures, that is. And then like so. You can see these cook up pretty fast in our powered furnace. And like so, for the what looks like bricks to me, it should be plates for you. So you can see there's lots of different cool looking designs, and the neat thing about these blocks is they do glow a little bit. They don't really give off light, really, but I have noticed that rooms will never ever be completely dark when they have these in them. And monsters cannot spawn on these, and that might have something to do with that fact. So you can definitely use these to make yourself some really cool areas where you'll be safe from monsters. So very neat looking blocks, and we're going to use a bunch of those for our factory we're working on over there. And obviously this is again another thing that's going to be kind of a work in progress sort of thing, because I have a lot of these crystals that I have to cook up, and yeah, considerable amount of time and effort that's going to go into those. But definitely wanted to show you guys sort of what I was thinking, what I was working on, and yeah, I think it'll be cool obviously when it's done, but that's not something I'm going to do on camera. So we're probably getting pretty close to that wrapping up point, but what I want to do is I do want to get started on some of this buildcraft, some more uses for buildcraft energy and our logic gates. So I'm going to clip the videos. I definitely think I'm going to need a little more obsidian, and when I come back I'll throw together the machines we're going to make, and that'll probably be where we wrap it up. So I'll be back. Alright, I am back, and should be able to wrap up this episode with putting together our last little thing that we're going to do to set up for next episode, which hopefully will be some logistics gates. So, some logic gates rather, not logistics gates. So, first of all, let's go ahead and make our assembly table. You can see the recipe here, it's pretty expensive. We just managed to get ourselves, I think, enough diamonds to pull this off. So we're going to need some iron and some gold as well. Okay. Basically, we're just going to get ourselves a gear, and we're going to upgrade that one step at a time. Where's our cobble? There we go. And then to iron. Then to gold, and lastly to diamond. So you can see, very, very expensive recipe, but well worth it. So we're going to need a piece of a little bit of redstone on top, and then obsidian on the sides. Will give us an assembly table. Now, an assembly table alone isn't going to be enough to get us anything, because by itself that won't do anything. What we're also going to need are a couple of these lasers. So I think we're going to make 3 to start with. And that's going to be something like this. Again, you can see pretty expensive to get set up, but I like to do it as early as possible because these things are incredibly useful. So let me just make a little bit of room. You can see I just got back from mining up a little bit more. I needed a little more diamonds, so we had to go after that. Let's put that there. And we'll go ahead and put this thing down. And so I've already gone ahead and run our energy conduits basically off this line through the wall and up to here. These need to be hooked up to our lasers. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our assembly table here, and then position our lasers like so. And yeah, so we're all set up, and I think this is about where we're going to call this episode. So stay tuned next episode for when we're going to start playing around a little bit with this assembly table. And I'm going to show you guys what you can do with this thing. So it's going to be really cool. But until then, this has been Season 2, Episode 4 of my FTB Modpack Let's Play. Hope you guys enjoyed watching, and stay tuned for next episode. Catch you later.